And there we are. Good evening, folks. It's Thursday night, September 20th, 2018. We got the two best periods on NHL Network in most of the Northern California region as the Sharks score 6 in the last two periods to beat the Ducks 7-3. This is a preseason edition of Teal Town After Dark alongside AJ Strong, Eric Cura here. You can always follow me on PutGuy14. Of course, if you always want to be a part of the show, you can know where you can find us. Use in Google Chat. Hang out in there. We'll take your questions and answers, all of that. And or, of course, on the Twitter machine at Teal Town USA. We'll find you on there just as much as possible. So, without a doubt, hello, Mr. Strong.
How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. Let's recap this game. We're expecting our guest to come in anytime. We'll get her in here when she does. But nonetheless, let's talk about this game. I thought the Sharks looked pretty solid early on until Andre Kasha, who's got some nice wheels on him, he scores the first goal, beating Aaron Dell, who's in this game tonight, 1-0 Ducks. I thought that was okay. Not the greatest shot, but I thought it could have been stopped.
Well, he is the world's okayest goalie.
Absolutely. And then the big pickup that Doug Wilson did do, and no, we're not talking about Erik Karlsson, Antti Suomela gets his first of the preseason from Joakim Ryan and Kevin LeBanc just under a minute and a half after the Kasha goal to make it 1-1. This guy came to play tonight. He had a decent look on Tuesday night against Anaheim at home in San Jose, but he really showed himself tonight on that play. And then near the end of the period, Jakob Silfverberg doing his Jakob Silfverberg things, especially against San Jose. He gets his first of the preseason late from Manson to make it 2-1 Anaheim after 20 minutes. AJ, what did you think of the first period?
I thought it was good. I felt like Anaheim was trying to maybe make up a little bit for not looking that great on Tuesday night. Felt like they definitely had their feet under them early. But I'll be honest, too. I was having difficulty watching that first period because, NHL Network had it blacked out for the entire first period. So, I'm looking for streams and I'm having to do stuff like that. But what I was able to see, there you go. Oh, and Puck Guy muted himself yet again.
Oh, well, it's preseason, right? It's preseason. But then
work it out now, dude.
Exactly, right? If I could get rid of the AOL stuff, it would be great, even better. Second period. Now we go in and sure enough, the Sharks decide to get things going. LeBanc makes a deposit into the net with a nice pass from Donskoy to make it a 2-2 tie. LeBanc, he shot the puck.
Dude, that was a nice 2-on-1. Great pass, pinpoint. And the way that whole play broke out, I mean, that's what you want to see from the Sharks, really taking advantage of teams when they flub in their neutral zone and flip it on them and just get it deep really quick.
Absolutely. And then Radim Simic from behind the goal line, it kind of looked like it ricocheted off of Ryan Miller's stick blade and into a little Swiss cheese hole there. Ties it up at 3 for San Jose. Simic making a good run for himself.
No, Simic, there was a couple of guys here tonight that I think kind of stood out. Radil, Simic, Chartier. Chartier starting if I'm Gambrell, I'm getting a little nervous because you got two spots in the center slot, and you got three guys essentially fighting for him in Chartier, Gambrell, and Suomela. And if I'm Gambrell after two games, I'm sweating.
Yeah, Gambrell is not living up to the legacy of the number 14. He's had a decent night, but Suomela and Chartier have looked better. And then there's the duck killer, I guess you can call him, or the duck hunter, Marcus Sorensen. He does it again. Nice tip from the point. He gets on the board for the Sharks, gives the Sharks the lead that they wouldn't relinquish 4-3. And I'm like with you, AJ, you just hope that that Sorensen can turn his playoff form into regular season success as well.
Absolutely. You know what though? You're saying Sorensen with the fourth goal. Just letting you know, NHL.com has that going to Middleton.
Oh, is he going to Middleton? So they're saying it was my bad.
They're saying Middleton from Goodrow and Chartier.
That's my bad. All right. Well, my apologies for that, folks. Moving on.
I did like the way I did like what we saw from Sorensen tonight.
Yes. No, he looked pretty good. He looked like he was causing some traffic. So Jacob Middleton from Goodrow and Chartier at 13:45. That makes it 4-3 Sharks after 20 minutes. And then it just started getting crazier and crazier. Lucas Radil.
Well, wait a minute. Speaking of crazy, we are joined now by Shalana Goldman.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Great. How are you? It's great to have you back again.
It has been too long.
It's been so long. We actually changed the name of the site.
Yeah. You understand how difficult it is to sneak into those rafters and come see you.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
It's great to see you. We've missed you so much, but you've been doing so much good stuff lately. What did you take from tonight?
I mean, you can't be too disappointed, back-to-back games with a Barracuda heavy roster doing well against, members of the Ducks, opening night roster. So you take that, but from tonight especially, when you look at the guys who are going to be, on the Sharks opening night roster and getting to see them play well. We finally got to see the Antti Suomela, Jonas Donskoi combo in a game situation, and they each had 3 points on the evening. Kevin LeBanc looked almost as confident as I've ever seen him. He had a good night. Aaron Dell was a little rusty at first, but he tightened up after he let a few goals in, and he had a couple really big stops towards the end of the game that allowed the Sharks to push through. You can't necessarily get into some of the nitty-gritty, like special teams and whatnot, since we haven't seen the opening night roster. But besides that, these two games against Anaheim, I think, set them up well going forward.
Absolutely. And I like the point you made about seeing Anaheim, top players for Anaheim. I mean, Perry played in his Katja, Silverberg, Raquel. I mean, it wasn't like the Sharks were playing stiffs out there tonight.
Well, and that Raquel Perry line was in mid-season form too. They put on the pressure early in the game, and because of how they actually kind of set the tone in that first, 20, 30 minutes or so. And just by how they looked, it was as if, the Ducks might run away from, with the game, but they didn't. And seeing how this Sharks group responded was very encouraging.
Yeah, it's very nice to see, because everybody was wondering where's the bottom six depth going to come from. You see Suomela in there, you see Chartier making a run, so it's nice to see. And for the most part, you didn't have that many veterans play tonight, but yet you started to see some of the chemistry start to build up, which is always important to get in for these preseason games. So to wrap up the summary for the third, Lucas Radil at 11:31 from Wood and Chartier to make it 5-3. Donskoi at 16:27 from Chartier and Radil make it 6-3, and then 27 seconds later, Suomela from Donskoy to Proclan. Yeah, I see. My mouth is in preseason form tonight, folks. I apologize. 27 seconds later, that finishes off the scoring 7-3. Shots on goal were even at 26 apiece. Both teams were 0-4 on the power play. I'm
not bringing out the drum until regular season.
No, yeah, we can't do that. But since we have Shalana on, we got to ask about how psyched are the Sharks about getting this season going?
And they're not at all. They're dull. It's been a boring camp. No, I'm totally joking. No, the energy at camp has just been phenomenal. Even I've covered this team. This is going into season 7 for me. And at the end of last season, after they were knocked out of the playoffs, it was probably the least upset I've seen this team. They were encouraged, looking forward to next season. They had a productive off season even before. I know that there was a lot of criticism that Doug Wilson didn't do enough before the Karlsson trade, but locking in Evander Kane before he could test the market and getting that good core together. They were already in good spirits. The addition of Erik Karlsson has just shot everybody's expectations through the roof, and everyone's elated to have this new portion of the team, and so we're all excited, especially as I'm sure that you guys are, to see how this roster is going to get put together and see all of the different combinations. It's been hopefully we'll get to see a little bit more of that on Saturday against Las Vegas. Pete DeBoer hasn't said yet when Karlsson's going to get any game time, but with the October 3rd opener coming up, I'm sure it's going to be in the not too distant future.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Karlsson didn't make or get a lot more of the regulars going on Saturday against Vegas. That would be real interesting.
Especially since Las Vegas has been, I think they rolled out a lot of their regular season guys tonight. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure. I want to say that they were playing LA tonight, and I think I saw that William Karlsson scored a goal. It was like him and like Marchessault. I was looking at it on the NHL Network crawl, and it looked like I was looking at the score from one of the playoff games. Since they're rolling out a lot of their regular guys, I would assume that the Sharks would do something similar on Saturday.
Well, the Kings were in split squad tonight, right, Eric?
They were.
Yes, they were.
I want to say it was Vancouver and Vegas.
Did somebody say Vancouver? Yeah, we'll do a little wraparound really quick. So half the Kings are in Vancouver to take on the Canucks. That's going into overtime, tied at 3-3. The Golden Knights took on the other half of the LA Kings, and the Knights are winning 6-2. Those Kings have only 11 shots on goal, and they're under 10 minutes to play in the third. Some other finals around the league. The Canadiens beat the Caps 5-2. Islanders beat the Devils 2-0. See, they're fine without John Tavares. The Red Wings beat the Blackhawks, right? The Red Wings beat the Blackhawks 4-2 for their second preseason win.
What was that? The matchup of two teams on the downward spiral?
Yeah, right. In Minnesota, the Dallas Stars beat the Minnesota Wild 3-1. 7-3 was the final as the Oilers beat the Winnipeg Jets. And then, of course, the Sharks beat the Ducks 7-3. So, yeah. Unbelievable.
Somebody needs to get called out tonight. I got to be honest. Like, I'm looking at the roster sheet. I'm looking at the box score. I can't believe Timo Meier played in this game.
Yeah, he was the one guy that I didn't see anything from. All of the other guys that are going to be on the opening night roster produced. I'm not going to lie, kind of forgot that he was playing tonight. He made let's see, it was end of the third period. He had the puck at one point, and I had to kind of go back and look at my roster for the night because I forgot that he was playing. But I assume that he'll be in on Saturday and he'll get more play time in. So,
well, and we talked to Kurz earlier in the week, and there was, I guess, some word going around that Jumbo wanted to get into at least 2, if not 3, preseason games. Have you heard anything about that, or do you think we see Jumbo in the next one?
If not the next one, definitely. I want to say they're up in Calgary. I know that he says he's 100% fine. I know that Kevin talked to Pete DeBoer earlier today, and Pete is trying very hard not to let Jumbo just take full run and skate himself to just some ridiculous amount. So even though he says he's 100% healthy, the Sharks still want to make sure they still want to be ginger with him and make sure that he really is at his best when they open up on the 3rd.
Do you think since the next one is at home and we're all amped up about, EK65, do you think Karlsson hits the ice Saturday?
I don't know if we'll see him quite yet. I don't know if it'll be Saturday night against Vegas or not, just since he just got here and there's still – Pete made it pretty clear yesterday at the press conference that they're not rushing to get him out for a game just yet. I think it's something where he really wants to look at how he is in practice more with the guys. And this is a big transition. Even though he's one of the best players on the planet, there's still going to be that bit of a learning curve. Only playing with Ottawa his entire career, coming in with a different role with different players. I'm sure Pete's, fine tuning who he wants to have Karlsson paired with. And so it wouldn't surprise me if we don't see him quite yet on Saturday, but it'll be, if not on Tuesday, it'll definitely be next Thursday against Calgary.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Timo better wake up.
So Meyer played 16:30 tonight. He was 50% in the face-off circle. Even had 3 minutes of power play time. No shots, 1 hit, and it was a -1.
And parsing those numbers even more, we were talking about earlier, Suomela 58 in the dot, 50% for Chartier in the dot, Gambrell 36. Now, that's not to say Gambrell wasn't facing more difficult matchups, but still, Gambrell's going to be feeling some heat right now.
Especially when some of the guys are around him are having such good. Are having such good camps. So this was definitely a night where he needed to step up. So we'll see what happens.
Definitely. But right now it's looking, there was a little nervousness I think we all had when Tierney was a part of that trade, because we had seen how much he had escalated his game last season, and then to have him be part of that, you're like, okay. I think I saw one meme, it's like, you think about your significant other, but really the significant other is thinking, who are they going to replace Tierney with in the 3rd line?
Everybody's so nervous, and it's kind of like, the hell were we worried about?
Yeah. And now granted, we have owned, I won't say we, like I'm on the team. San Jose has owned the Ducks lately. So the true test, I think, is
6 in a row.
Yeah, 6 in a row, right? But the true test, I think, will be Saturday night against Vegas. It'll be interesting to see what the lineup will be for sure there. Let's take a look at some comments in the chat.
Well, while you're pulling up the chat, just a reminder for everybody that's new here. We do this. We go live after. Now, preseason is a different animal. We don't do every preseason, but every regular season, every playoff game, we go live right after the game, bandy it about, have some new people coming on this year, so that should be fun. Some brand new articles on tealtownusa.com, doing more stuff on Instagram, so do us all a favor. Make sure hit the subscribe button if you're here, get the notification bell, because again, you're going to get an alert every time we go live. Check out our Instagram, follow on Twitter, and remember, for those of you who are still interested in March 9th Teal Town USA Day at the Tank, I have 5 spots left, So if you're interested, tealtownusa@icloud.com. Email me there to get the details. $90 gets you both games, Sharks versus the Blues, Condors versus the CUDA, and we're doing this show live there, and you can come in and have fun with us while we're doing it. So hit us up, tealtownusa@icloud.com for the details on that. 5 spots left.
Yes, please come out and check us out. And then, one thing that a comment starts coming in now. Ross Benson saying Merkley was garbage tonight. What did you think of the first round draft pick, Shalina?
He's looked really, really good in practice, and I was also not terribly impressed with him tonight. Not that I wasn't impressed, but it was kind of a similar look as Timo Meyer, where he didn't really show up. But again, he's looked a lot stronger during practice, so we'll see if he gets any more play time after his, as Dia comment said, garbage performance tonight.
I'm bummed, man. I've already lost my bet. I had a bet with a friend of mine that Merkley would take a penalty at least in every game he played in the preseason. I've already lost.
Oh, buddy.
I felt so good after game 1.
It's way too early for you to be losing money. Come on, man.
I know. But there was a spot tonight when Merkley took a hell of a hit, and good on him for not retaliating. But there was part of me that goes, come on, take the 2 minutes. Take it.
No. More comments in the chat. Chris saying Shalane needs to get her brother to hook me up at Modern Times.
Oh, yeah. I've gotten a couple messages about that.
Oh, boy.
Rub a lamp, bro.
Yeah. Davey Pilot was saying it might be good for Gambrell to get some time with the Barracuda, especially since he played, 3 games late last season to further his development.
Oh, I absolutely agree with that. Because it's not so much a matter of, we weren't going to see him on the opening night roster to begin with, but I think development-wise, it could be something where that could something like we saw with Chris Tierney a couple seasons back, where having some extensive time down with the CUDA did him a lot of good.
Yeah, Merkley was actually the only defenseman that didn't get on the score sheet tonight, funnily enough.
Go figure. And there were no Burns and no Carlson or Vlasic playing tonight. So good on the defense being offensive tonight.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so I'll go with you first, Shalana. What did you think of Tim Heed? Because obviously that's another guy who's kind of obviously fighting to get a spot, and with Carlson coming in as one less spot, so he's going to be pushing to, whether it's Ryan or Dylan or somebody to try to maybe perform well enough that maybe it gives Wilson the idea of, okay, maybe if someone wants to offer me something for Dylan or something along those lines to make plays for the future. We know that the Sharks, not a lot of high draft picks in the next round or two, so not that I'm saying Dylan is going to return you a first or second pick, but you know what I'm saying. Like, how do you think he was looking?
I wasn't crazy about his game early on. That first period, I thought he looked a little sloppy.
Yeah, he had a flub.
Joachim Ryan has looked better thus far, just during preseason time, and he and Brenton Burns actually played somewhat well together towards the end of last regular season. So I would see him, moving up over Heed, definitely. Heed's game looked better towards the end of tonight, but he was another one. His and Aaron Dell's performances kind of mirrored each other, where they looked a little rusty to begin with. There was one sequence early in that first period though where he just didn't look good. Yeah,
who was he out there with? I think he was out there with Shimmick, and they both let an up ice pass get right between them, let the offense get behind him, and I was like, oh, Heed, you're not doing yourself any favors. But conversely, later in the game, there was a point who was getting off at that time. I don't know if it was Wood or Middleton, but someone was skating off, and he got out there super quick and kept the puck in the offensive zone.
He had wheels. I know exactly which player you're talking about. So that looked good, but since he didn't do that for a full 60, and Shimmick was actually pretty similar, where he looked better as the game went on, but that first 20, I mean, that's how your plus minus goes into the tank.
Yeah.
And Matt Webdev is asking, he would have to clear waivers to go to the Barracuda, right?
I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was I believe that was put out today. I want to say by Peshelka, but both he mentioned another player that would have to clear, and they were saying that they may. I don't know. Might have been Shimmick, but look that up. But I know that he was saying that there were two guys that if they sent them down, they'd have to clear waivers, and if that was the case, you might see the Sharks carry 8 defensemen early on just to avoid that. So I'm sorry?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, so that's something to consider. But again, I think it was Peshelka, but he did explain how that would.
I'm looking that up right now. I too am in preseason mode. I don't have all my things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, it happens. I'm still just like, oh my god. In fact, it actually might have been Nick Nolenberger, the Barracuda blog, but I do know that it was mentioned. So it's, man. See, I'm looking it up myself. I thought I had it, but I do know that yes, I know that Heed is in fact one that would have to clear. I just can't remember who the other one was. I thought it was Shimmick, but that's going to be tough, man. That's going to be really tough.
Yeah, in the article that Peshelka put out today, he, in the second year of a 2-year deal he signed with the Sharks in June of 2017, would require waivers if he doesn't make the opening night roster.
And is there another player listed in there?
I'm looking over it really quickly here. It doesn't look like it.
Okay. I would have swore I saw another player listed in there, but I may have been incorrect. Which happens constantly. Ask my wife.
Oh, goodness. All righty. So let's see what else is going on in the chat here. Let's see if they say, Phantom 044, 0044. Merkley has been great in the last 2 games. Merck literally prevented 4 odd man rushes from turning into a goal. Some think Heat's going to be out of here by February. Oh, the article says Simic.
Yeah, so I was right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Shimmick, the other one. Yeah. So, okay. I had it right. Okay.
Yeah,
see, honey, I told you. Anyway. But, yeah. So that's going to be tough because both Heat and Shimmick, to me, are playing a very similar game right now. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing when both guys are doing well, but I mean, Ryan, you can't send down Ryan. So again, let's just put this on the list of, problems every GM wants.
Oh, absolutely. You want to have too many guys playing well and for it to be a difficult decision. You don't want to have to kick your whole blue line to the curb. That would be terrible.
Oh, I remember those days when I wanted to kick everybody to the curb.
Those days weren't that long ago. Those days weren't that long ago, AJ.
No,
they were 3 years ago when we would have you on and we're like, what the hell are you doing with this team?
Oh yeah. Wasn't that when Burns was playing forward?
That was one of them.
Which time that Burns was playing forward?
Oh.
Exactly. But see, therein lies the funniest part is that if they're not comfortable sending Heat or Shimmick down, they literally can put Burns to forward to free up a defensive spot.
I've already heard this argument. It's already come around.
Yeah.
Plenty.
And it's silly as hell, but but the option is there. I mean, again, problems every GM and coach wants. Last thing you want is something that's, is a nameplate that says Canucks on it right now, or Ottawa for that matter.
Right. Yeah. And unless you're Colorado, who's something like, yeah, go ahead and do your thing, Ottawa. Don Gafford compliments Shalena's Led Zeppelin stuff on the wall behind her.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes.
We're this last week, I know that Greta Van Fleet was playing around the Bay. Did you happen to catch any of those?
I missed. No, it was Greta was at the Masonic and Dorothy opened, and a bunch of friends and I were going to go, and I ended up working and I couldn't make it, and I was super bummed. I've heard that Greta Van Fleet's really good live. They put on a good live show. I think I saw that Kurz went. I'll have to ask him how they were.
Yeah. If the Sharks weren't playing Tuesday, I would have went and saw them on Tuesday night, because I've already seen Dorothy open up for Hailstorm about 2 years ago, and she was really good. So I was like, oh, you guys had to play down here on the night that there's a Sharks game. You bastards.
Of course. Why would they do such a crazy thing like that? No, come on. So let's see. So I'm trying to think of anything else we have. It is preseason, so there are some.
Schedule. It's a light schedule.
It's a light schedule. Not all the big guys are playing yet, so there isn't too much going on.
And I actually do have to run in just a minute.
Well, okay. Then we'll let you go. So let you promote where people can find you and where they can read all your awesomeness.
Well, you can read all of my current work over at Yardbarker at yardbarker.com, and you can always find me on Twitter at Shalana Goldman. Always talking to you guys, and thank you so much again for having me on. It's been too long. We will chat again much sooner this time.
It's too long, and I apologize for the number of requests of Sandstorm during games.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
No. And give a stick tap to Tittle the next time you talk to him. So wasn't he the first one that got off a question at the presser?
Oh, he was so excited. I talked to him the day, because he has me on his radio show pretty regularly. But he shot me a text the day of the trade and was already, planning for us to talk the next day. He was so stoked. He loves Sharks hockey, and he knows his hockey. So just could not have been more excited.
Sweet.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Shalana, for being on. We will have to have you on again very soon, and I will possibly see you Saturday at the Tank. So,
all right, don't be a stranger. Definitely come say hi if you can. Yes. They don't let me out of the rafters very much.
Gotcha. Well, maybe AJ and I will sneak up there then. But thanks, Shalane. Appreciate it.
Have a great night, you guys. Cheers.
Thank
you. Take it easy.
And that's Shalana Goldman. One of I think she was our first ever guest on the then named Pucknology After Dark.
I do believe so.
And so one of her longest supporters.
Absolutely. So getting back just to kind of, put a final little bow on it. I mean, obviously there's just points wise, there's a couple of guys that had some solid nights. I mean, Sewell Mellett 3 points, Donskoy 3 points, Chartier 3 points, Ryan was a +3 tonight. So, I mean, I did read that right. So clearly some guys standing out. Again, it's Chartier 3 assists, +3, Sewell Mellett 2 goals and assists for 3 points, +2, and Gambrell, no goals, no assists, no points, -1. Ooh, a lot of people had Gambrell penciled automatically, not even penciled, penned in to center that fourth line. Chartier, God love this kid, man. I mean, this kid is making the most of his opportunity. It's like when he saw Tierney was leaving, he was just kind of like, okay, now's my time. Yeah. Now, poof. It's, what's that movie? Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Just like, when, Lord, when? When's going to be my time? And I think
Right.
Charche is kind of like right now, bro.
Yep, the time is now to take on essentially 2 spots because you lost Tierney in the most recent trade. Fair is in Minnesota, so time to take advantage of it.
Yeah, 2 spots, 3 guys gunning for it. So I like this. And we'll see what happens when Vegas comes to town on Saturday. Look forward to that. I look forward to seeing what regulars we see. We've seen Don scoring 2 games now, Sorensen. A lot of these guys also played on Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, when it comes to bigger names, Hurdle, who played Tuesday, did not play tonight. I'm assuming that we'll see someone else in the higher rankings get. It wouldn't surprise me if we see Timo Meyer again, because brother, I don't know if he was having too much fun at that A's game last night or something, but dude, you better wake up, my friend.
Speaking of the A's, the Sharks outscored the LA Angels of Anaheim today as well.
Oh, it was ridiculous. Everything was a football score tonight. It was like the A's won 21-3, the Sharks won 7-3. It was, when Suomela got the last one, it was like, it's up, it's good. So
beautiful night for the Bay Area tonight. Go ahead, EJ.
Yeah. No, so I think we're probably done here again, preseason, but we're gonna make it short and sweet. Again, I want to reach out to anybody who's watching right now who's unfamiliar, who might be brand new to the show. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and that way you're aware every time we go live. And we do this after every single Sharks game. We'll come on here and there when Sharks news breaks, whether it's a schedule release, when the 3rd jersey, if it ever sees the light of day, we'll be on to talk about it. I gotta say, I'm a little surprised that hasn't rolled out yet. Obviously, Eric was showing the All-Star Game logo there, which just came out this week. So you've got the All-Star Game details coming. What did you think about that graphic, by the way, for the All-Star Game as logo? I get what they were trying to do, but
I get what they're trying to do, and it makes sense to kind of encapsulate it like an app. And then I thought the nice touch was putting the year in as the notification amount. It's interesting because
I don't think it screams San Jose enough.
Right. And reading sorry, go ahead, AJ. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was replying to Alex. No, there will be no after dark. Nobody needs that. I don't know. I look at it and I like it as a logo. Like, I like the idea. I totally get what they were going for, where it's the technology innovation station here in the Bay. So I understand that. Again, the notification pill in the upper right is great, but you know what it was is that I looked onto what's the logo? The documents all the logos.
Sportslogos.net.
Yeah, so I was looking at sports, and they had had a list of all the previous ones. When you see the one for my whole thing is that I was looking at them very small and saying, just by looking at it, can I guess what city it's in? And I was, I got like 9 out of 10. And like the Nashville one was very obvious. The Dallas one was very obvious. The LA one, for Pete's sakes, the last one, because it was a huge L and a huge A. A couple of them were not so obvious. And this one, I don't know if this is so obvious. But I do think if they put out, if like the NHL puts out like a all-star specific app, then it really sets this off. And I'm excited to see what the patches look like. I would get
you're essentially looking at the patch because it's not going to have the Honda logo on it. It's going to be this one right here.
I don't know.
They usually don't put the ones out there on it. None of their events usually have the title sponsor on there. In fact, I believe the only thing that's going to differentiate between this and the embroidered one will be that little shadow of blue on the All-Star word is not going to be there on the patch. So that's going to be on. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, that was the one thing that did confuse me when I saw that. I'm like, why isn't that teal? But whatever.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Yeah, kind of looking at from howdesign.com, they were able to interview the firm Fan Brands, who usually does a lot of the events for the NHL, like the Winter Classic and the Stadium Series and such. They wanted to go tech, but not have like that circuit board look, which ironically we're possibly going to see in the third jersey, hopefully on Sunday. But
yeah, I can see that behind in the black behind the San Jose word mark.
Yeah,
like faded.
So they kind of went with like the Tech Flow wave, kind of symbolizing, how everything connects to the internet and the wave because it's on the Pacific Coast.
Everything connects to the internet except Puck Guy.
Yeah, exactly. I know. But the other thing too is they wanted to have a completely different look for this All-Star game, and if that's the case, well, mission accomplished there. But it'll be interesting to see some of the alternate marks that'll come out within the next couple of months, because I could really see them doing a lot of stuff with that wave in there. I think that's going to look pretty cool. So that will remain to be seen, especially with all the
Jerry in the chat predicting that the third jersey will make its debut at the All-Star game. I like that. So anyway, we did our digital janitorial with asking you to subscribe and all that. Again, if you're interested, March 9th, we have 5 spots left for Teal Town USA Day at the Tank. Get tickets to the Blues game, tickets to the Condors Coup game, and you get to come and just have fun with us while we do the After Dark show immediately following the Sharks game, all live at the Tank. So tealtownusa at iCloud.com if you're interested. 5 spots left. So look a brother up. Oh, another thing that we did get some requests for, even if you don't catch our audio stuff on iTunes, like if you use SoundCloud or Google Play, and in fact, I'd be really interested to know, like when you listen to the audio stuff, let me just put that out to the chat right now. If you listen to any of our audio only stuff, what platform are you using? Stitcher, Blueberry, TuneIn, iTunes, SoundCloud, whichever. I'd be interested to know. But for anybody who has iTunes, please do us a favor. Leave us a, give us a 5-star. If you don't think we deserve the 5 stars, that's okay. We can take it. But please throw a review on there. We definitely want to try to build up some cachet over in there. So please hit us on iTunes.
Yeah, definitely check us out everywhere that you find us, whether it's SoundCloud, TuneIn, iTunes, Google Play, you name it.
And whichever platform you use, subscribe.
Subscribe to them all, please. Just smash subscribe buttons all over the place for Teal Town USA. So final thoughts, AJ Strong, as we head out on this Thursday night.
Gambrell, be nervous. Be very, very nervous. Heed, I hope your confidence continues to grow. I hope tonight was a bit more of a stepping stone. But a couple of guys tonight, looking at you, True. True owned the dot tonight, 89%. I'm not saying he faced, Corey Perry and Raquel or anything like that, but at least he did that. But for the most part, didn't hear True's name very much. But the one that needs to get off the schneid, if there was one so far, is Timo freaking Meyer. So with that, if I don't see you on Saturday, I will definitely see you at Tailgate at the Fan Fest on Sunday.
And stay tuned to our YouTube channel on Sunday. Well, just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we might as well promote it. If you're not going to FanFest, if you happen to be out of town or something, by all means, FanFest ends at about 4 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, the Legends game starts, featuring some oldies but goodies. Mike Ricci and Jamie Baker and Mark Smith, just to name a few. So during that time, after 4 o'clock, smash the YouTube button here, subscribe. You'll get a notification of we will be going live from the tank following FanFest, and we do plan on having a special guest. It's penciled in, unconfirmed at this point, but I'd say 98% sure it's going to happen. And I'm not going to, I'm not spoiling any surprises or anything like that because there's nothing set in stone. But we're praying that we might be able to debut on the show, actually show you what a new Sharks third jersey looks like if we're lucky. So check that out.
Yes, definitely check us out. Check us out everywhere at tealtownusa.com, along with all of our social media channels and SoundCloud and podcast catchers, wherever you can find us. So until then, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Have a wonderful night, everyone. We'll see you later.